Hi everybody, and it's Danny for 3 News Cartridge for Friday, August 28th, 2015. And wonderful news to begin today. Rocket League is coming to Mac and SteamOS. They're also celebrating 1 million Steam sales, and in order to celebrate this, the developer Psyonix is offering a 10% discount on the game on Steam, bringing the game's price down to $17.99 US. If you don't want to pay that much though, how about getting it for free? Yes, I'm not joking around here. If you pre-order the Steam controller, Steam Link, or a Steam machine, you actually will get a copy of Portal 2 and Rocket League for free. And you don't have to buy all of them. You can just buy one of the three, either just the Link, the controller, or a machine. If you buy a machine, you probably should get a free game with that one. Those are pretty expensive. But if you have already ordered a Steam controller, you might feel a little bit regretful that you may have, you should have waited pre-order. Well, good news for you. It's actually people who have already pre-ordered the controller are eligible for it too. So this is a great way to tip the scales for people who are unsure of whether or not they want the controller or Rocket League, or for people like me who were sure that they wanted one of them, and this is just kind of throwing more in with the deal and definitely going for this. I'm probably going to go order it tomorrow because Rocket League, I wanted that game, and I wanted the controller anyway, so yeah, pretty good deal. If you would like a link to Rocket League, as well as a link to both the Steam controller as well as the Steam Link, I'm not going to put a link for the Steam machine. I don't really feel like that's just something you can just pick up and buy. There will be descriptions for that down below. And leave a comment if you're going to pick up either Rocket League or Steam products. Details and pricing have been unofficially released by AMD regarding the R9 Fury Nano. It's an ITX-compatible version of their Fury graphics card featuring 4 GB of state-of-the-art high-bandwidth memory, or HBM. The card will release on September 7th, which is next month, and will feature almost the exact same specs as its bigger brother, except that the GPU core will be 1000 MHz instead of 1050, and will have a TDP of 175 instead of 275 because of the not having to power the pump, as well as also only having a single 8-pin power connector, which also reflects not having to power the water pump and whatnot. The MSRP is suggested at $650 US, and this is where I have a problem with that. It's a weaker card than the R9 Fury X, but they're going to charge the same price for it, and they're not going to give you the same amount of stuff. You can't tell me that not including a pump and a radiator isn't going to severely reduce the price, the cost of building it. And I am including the cost of the heatsink. There's metal in the radiators too. The radiators aren't cheap. There is literally no reason to buy this card if it's the same price as the Fury. Unless it's maybe size restrictions, and even then, if you're running an MATX case, they're probably not going to run into size restrictions. And I could fit one of these. I could fit a Fury with a single 120mm radiator in my own little ITX case. I know I'd have no problem doing that. It also doesn't make sense that if to buy this and custom water cool it, because they already offer a custom water cooled version of it, or at least a stock water cooled version of it, pardon me, and it's probably a better idea just to buy that one, modify the pump and the radiator, and do that, not buy the air cooled one and try to switch it out. It doesn't make sense. So AMD, please stop your downward spiral. I really like you guys. I really do. The first computer I ever personally owned had an AMD processor in it. The first real graphics card that I ever owned was an ATI Radeon, pardon me. AMD didn't own them at the time. They bought them. If they just were to re-release this card for $599 US, then I would see they would fly off the shelf and you'd have a real 980 Ti competitor. I had reported earlier in the week that the developers of Trine 3 had responded to criticism about their game being too short. Well, they had responded again yesterday, this time with a video, and I'm really not sure what they're hoping to achieve with this. The tone of the video is rather odd. They just seem to be reiterating things that they have already said, which, quite frankly, is being very obvious. And they do give some more. They do give some insight to some things that they haven't actually put in print before. I'm not trying to be too cynical here, but they explain that they chose to take the easy route and not to tell anybody about the game's length and to until the game was in early access, which honestly is a very hard truth to swallow. I think it's a very good thing that they told people that. However, they also went on to explain that the game was in 3D instead of 2D, obviously, that they ran out of money in this far into production, obviously, that they had too much written for the game, obviously, and that people are upset about the game, obviously. This is the part, though, that I don't get. This part right here. Watch this guy. Watch this guy. He's carrying a Trine 3 poster, and into the trash it goes. I wondered to myself why exactly these guys decided to shoot outside. I mean, people, I'm guessing that they have a place to live. They're developers. They get paid to do what they do. And, they've been pretty successful with $5.4 million games, a lot of money. They can afford a wall, right? I mean, I've even got a decent place to shoot, and I live in a really crappy apartment. So why did they shoot this outside? And then this happened, and it became very apparently clear. This is just a video for sympathy, if possibly even trolling. These guys do not believe that there is such a thing as bad publicity, as the old saying goes. And with this one, they're trying to fan the flames as long as they possibly can to draw attention. Now, this is not going to work with me, guys. This is not going to work with me. I am not going to talk about Trine. Oh, shit. All right. Well, be aware of these guys and their future actions, and we'll see what they do, but I don't like what they're doing right now. I told you yesterday that I would have more Star Wars Battlefront letdowns for you, and quite frankly, I was joking, but it didn't take long. DLC has already been announced with a release date of December 18th. Now, granted, this DLC will be free, which is a good thing. It's fine to have to release things over time, but they're offering it to you 2 weeks early on December 1st as a pre-order bonus. EA, shall I get you a knife so you can carve out more of this game and resell it to us as a prize? Should I do that? Because I'll put money. I will put money on this, that this DLC is already done. I will put money on it, but I'm guessing that there's nobody out there who's willing to take that bet, because it's done. Star Wars Battlefront, which is also unofficially known as Battlefront 3, will be available on November 17th. The Battle of Jakku DLC will be available on December 18th. If you pre-order it, it will be available December 1st, but don't pre-order it. Don't pre-order it. Wait for the reviews. It's probably not good. And finally, that brings us to tomorrow's game releases. There aren't any because tomorrow's Saturday. Yay! Well, thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you tomorrow. And what's Princess Zelda's favorite breakfast food? Sausage links.